This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Every time we get together with her, we learn more about this art of taxidermy. And there's so much more to it than I ever imagined. I've learned so much along the way. We got things we're going to show you today that is going to maybe clarify some things there during the process. As I've learned, it's an art. There's more to it than just stuffing an animal. It truly is an art. And that's the way they look at it at Leyba Creations in Santa Fe. Actually, not Santa Fe. It's Cibola, Mexico. Am I saying that right? New Mexico.
Yes. We call it Savoya.
Savoya.
Yep.
You can see how well I speak Spanish. New Mexico we're talking about. Cricket is here from there. Good to have you back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So you brought some stuff to show us today. What do you have?
I did. So, some of the things I brought a bobcat today, and then I also brought a bear. Because, one of the main importance of your taxidermy business is your tan. That is crucial for longevity and quality when it comes to a taxidermy. And we, that's one thing I thought I would bring out today is to show everybody kind of what the start of a good mount is, and it's all about your tan and how you turn and how you take care and preserve your animals before you start. So
now when you say preserve, can we go, how about we look at it this way, the process? So a client, a hunter has the skin. What happens from that point forward? And then take us through that journey, those steps, and what you do with it.
Yeah. So once we receive it, and how it's taken care of in the field again is so important. But once we do receive it, we process right away. We don't freeze again. And we what we do is we either thaw or we bring the animal in and we skin it and process it. And when it comes to turning and fleshing it down, you have to have all the meat out of it. And then you have the process of turning, which is really important. This is where we get our guys really good at. And like this animal here, this is a bobcat, and I'm turning it inside out because that'll show you kind of what we do here in our shop. And I don't know if you can see this, but I'll get closer up. How you process it in our shop. So like we thin down every little lip, every eyelid. So it's inside out basically. And you can't put any holes. You can't thin too much also where, stuff's going to fall out. So if you thin basically a whisker too much and that pad on the whisker line and those whiskers come out, then you have problems there. So a lot of taxidermists will also pull their whiskers, so they have to reset everything so nothing happens to them. We've never had that problem. We don't pull ours, but we're careful about how we turn, and our tanneries take really good care of us. And then you split the nose as well and your ears. So basically these ears are inside out, and you don't want to put any holes again. And you got to be really careful how you turn them, because if you go too much, you can split them open. And if you don't go enough, then they don't get tanned well enough. So, turning is a big process within our shop. So it's really important. And you can see this tan here is nice, bright white, super clean. There's one hole within the hide, and that's probably where they harvested it at. So, I mean, it's a really pretty beautiful pelt. So that's really important how you take care of it.
What can you tell us about the tanning process?
Honestly, I don't know a lot about, and I talk to our tanners all the time. There's a very chemical kind of process, and you got to know a lot of chemistry. And if you pickle it wrong, there is a set process they do from rehydrating to pickling to more tanning solutions. And then they actually hand shave things down as well. So that right there is a big process on how your animals are tanned. So like this one, really nice white clean look to it. It smells really good. It smells clean, doesn't smell like a lot of chemicals either, and it has a lot of stretch to it already before it's even hydrated. And after it's hydrated, that's when you get even more stretch. So this bobcat right here would, it's probably 12 inches, and it'll go, a lot more than that. So once you hydrate it.
Wow. Like you said, super white.
Yeah.
On the back end there. Just like, wow.
And then, yes. And then like here is the pelt side of it and the belly side. And it's super clean. There's no residue. No, they clean these really nice. They're super clean.
So when did you receive that?
So we received this one this year. So actually last year. So I can tell this because this year is our purple tags, and then last year is our yellow tags. So we color code all our animals for every year. So if I walk in our salt room basically, and we keep our antlers there, and there's an old colored tag, we know that we're behind. We can pull that color, and it's just to help kind of keep things organized in our shop.
So let's talk about that in terms of organization. I got to believe that that's a concern for those sending skins to you. And we've established before, you keep them for a while because you, your husband, your team, meticulous about it. It's got to be perfect or else it's not leaving the shop. So that said, you got a lot of skins in there. We want to make sure that it doesn't get lost. How do you account for everybody's skin that gets sent in there?
Yes, that's super important. So, and we've learned throughout the years, tagging is your friend. Before we start every season, we sit down with every one of our employees, and we talk to them how important it is on tagging. We go through colors, we go through numbers, and then me and my husband, and we go through occasionally too and walk through everything. And then when we're sending things out as well, we one by one check things in. But our number one thing is our number tags and then our color coding. So each year we have a color, and then we have a number code for each person. And as soon as a customer comes in, it is mandatory that they instantly get a name tag, they fill out paperwork, and they get a number on their animal immediately. And then when it's sent out to the tannery, we one by one go through each and every hide and mark down everything that's going out, and then log everything and make sure everyone has a number and a name on it. So that's very important.
Wow. It is. I mean, write down even to the color coding to know the year. That's from last year. We're at the beginning of a new year, so there's going to be a different color there. Wow. Do you have clients that call, hey, I'm just checking. How's it going so far? You give them progress updates?
Yes. So we get calls all the time because, when we're 2 years out, everybody gets anxious. I feel like about that year turnaround, or if we're about a year on something, it's about 6 to 8 months to start calling us. But we stay in communication usually about when the tans come in. We let them know everything came in, and then as we're going to mount it, then we make our phone calls. But yeah, we get phone calls all the time, and we actually appreciate the phone calls. I love it when our customers call us to get an update. It just keeps everything rolling, and we can pull it up really easy with our new system. Because one thing that we switched from when we first opened was we were all paper when we first opened, and now we're fully online. I can pull a customer up, I can pull a phone number, their name, and I can see, oh, well, hey, it's in the shop already, or it's back from the tannery, or we're about to get started on it in 2 weeks. So that's what's really nice with our new system on keeping things more accurate now.
So other taxidermy shops What do you think the average time for them is to get something done? And again, you're different. I got that. And it shows,
Yeah,
like we've talked
this is
before,
great.
I zoom in to the pictures on your website, which are fantastic. And there's a provision to allow you to go into detail. Every single hair is perfect. I really do mean that. So good things are worth waiting for. What's an average time for that to
That's
get done?
Yeah, and we love this question actually. So we get calls all the time that are like, "Hey, Cricket, why isn't my lion getting done at a year? Or why, I can go down the road and I can get it done in 2 months." And we definitely stress about this. We are a quality-based business. It is not about quantity. And if you're wanting it rushed and about quickness, then that's not our priority here. And we tell them that it's about quality here, because tanneries take time. Number one, our tannery does take time. We can do rushes on them, or we have the guaranteed tan as well, where we can rush them and they pay more because we have to basically move them and pay more to get a quicker tan, but the quality is still there. That's very important to us because we're not going to rush anything and it not last forever. And people are upset when they want something quick, but it doesn't last. And we like asking questions, and we love when customers ask questions because then we can answer them on why it takes longer with us. And with like our cats, we're 2 years behind because we're booked out that far, because that's what my husband specializes in, and cats are hard to get right, and not anybody can just do a cat. Deer, and they're a lot easier to do.
Why is a cat so challenging?
Yeah, so everything is frontal. Everybody, they start with an elk or a deer usually, and they're not a predator. Predators tend to be tougher because you're everything you get off, you will see. Now, the elk are basically a side profile, so the eyes are on the side of the head more, and they're rounded out more. There's less detail that goes into a cat, and there's a lot of little tricks with cats that you need to know that where to make it look right, basically.
Hmm. That bobcat you have there,
Yes.
how long do you think that's going to be from the moment that it where it is now, the stage that it's in now, when do you have an opening? It goes into the shop. How long
Yes.
would that take to get done?
So it'll take a full day once it's hydrated, fully hydrated. This here will take a full day to prep. My husband, he's pretty good at it, where he's fairly fast, I guess you'd say, but he can prep a bobcat and a mannequin in one day, and then he will mount it and go over it. So he needs 2 full days to fully mount it. I mean, we'll have a lot of time into doing the finish work on it, but mounting wise would be 2 solid days.
How do you hydrate it?
Yes. So that's really important too, because the way you hydrate your tans, you can turn it into a rubber band. You can turn it into where it falls apart. We hydrate ours with cold water and salt. So our tannery gave us that trick, is to make sure to have salt in there, and that helps keep the hair basically attached to the hide. So that's important.
You know, one might think that wouldn't be the right way to do it because salt dries things out. So it's kind of
Yeah.
counterintuitive, but I'm not the expert. What do I know?
Yes. And and it's funny because the same thing with tanning, like we're not the experts when it comes to tanning. We call we have the owners call us all the time and make sure, hey, is it thinned enough? Is it stretching enough? Does it turn in? So there's times that it'll acid swell, it's called, and it'll basically rubber band on you, where you stretch it but then it goes right back, and that's awful. You do not want that. You want it to stay in place, especially when you're doing detail on the face. If you have a lot of movement it's hard to get that memory right on your hide.
Is that a proper hydration that allows that so you don't have that stretch back into shape?
Yes, a lot of times, if you use like too warm of water, that right there will do it. Or it's not a good tan. We've had things shipped to us that were tanned that, well, we don't know where it's been tanned or how long or how they did it, and it's turned into a rubber band, and it's real hard to mount, and it's real tough to get right and make it perfect. So, it's important how your tan is. It's tough to just get by something a pelter. If you go to Alaska, for instance, we don't know how they tanned it until we get our hands on it and start messing with
Ooh.
it.
Have you had those situations where it wasn't tanned in the best way or properly, and now you get a deal?
Yeah, we've had that a lot. And, before we were more worried about, we have to get it, make it happen and make it right. And we've had it turn into basically like toilet paper where it
Oh,
dry rots because it's too old and it wasn't a good tan and it's falling apart. And he mounted it like toilet paper, and it was incredible that he was able to do it. But now we tell people, hey, if it does that, because it won't last with them, and you don't want to pay for something that won't last a lifetime.
so along with the Bobcat, you have something else to show us, right?
I do. So this is one of our bear tams, and you can see how pretty and clean this is. You can basically see every white hair in there and how
Yeah.
clean this is. And we also go through a cleaning process after this. So, I mean, they do such a good job. You almost don't even have to, but we still wash this and blow dry it. And, basically, like, you would do any other animal. It gets fully cleaned and blown off and shined up where they're just beautiful. But this is the process of it. And then we also have several tags on this where we have a name tag, a scan tag, and a near tag. So that way we always know whose it is. And this is what they look like before they're mounted. I mean, they're very flat. The ears are hard. And we always dry tan our bears because they just, when they're tumbled for a dry tan versus a wet tan, the dry tans pull all those oils out. Bears are super tough. They have their hair follicles basically like go through their skin. And so if you thin them too much, you'll have hair loss. So it's really important how you take care of your bears. And if you don't take care of them good enough beforehand, then they'll also, it's like a grease burn on your leather, which causes a lot of problems as well. So bears are super finicky.
Wow. Um, did I hear you say white hairs within that bear?
Yes. So this was an older bear.
I was just
Um,
going to ask you because it's like, is it gray hair? They
yeah.
get
And
gray
this
hair.
was basically gray hair. Yep. And you could see all the gray hair that he had in him. Now, here in New Mexico, so we have this red bear. He's red and chocolatey with like a gray undercoat. He's beautiful. That's the great thing about New Mexico. We have a color phase bear, and a lot of out-of-staters love to come to New Mexico because we don't have a lot of black bears. We have these chocolate and reds and sometimes super blonde, and almost white on their back. They're super pretty. So we're popular for bear hunting.
Wow. What would you do if somebody wanted to have a bearskin rug as opposed to it being mounted? What
Yeah.
what what is different going on there if it's going to be a rug?
Yeah, so we ask that every time somebody comes in with a life size with a full animal other than elk, and most of them are shoulder mounts. So like our bears and cats, the first question is hey, are you getting a rug or are you getting a life size? Because we skin ours different. So especially this long hair, bears have thin hair on their bellies. So
Hmm.
it's very important to call your taxidermist and say, hey, how do you want this skinned? We love that because we go down the back when we skin a bear if you're doing a life size. And then if you're doing a rug, we go down the belly, but we like to skin them ourselves because a lot of times people do the wrong cuts and do around their legs wrong or something, and that changes your rug, and then it makes it harder to stretch and make it look right because we stretch every bear rug.
What is on the other side of that rug when it's a bear?
Yeah, so on our rugs, so we use extra padding on all of our rugs. And then we've got several options. We can do, like, it's basically a suede or it's not a felt. It's almost like a really heavy duty fabric that underneath the bear. And then we do 2 ruffles. Sometimes we have people that ask for like no ruffle at all and they want it flat. We can do that as well. We have some people that don't want any of that and they're like, hey, I would like a leather border. We'll do leather. So one great thing, and we send all our rugs out to a rugger as well. So we mount them here and then we send them to our rugger who does all stitching. It's no glues. They sew the whole way around the bear. So that's longevity as well. And we use really great people. They're awesome.
Cricket, have you and your husband ever gotten an animal, whether it was an unusual one or not, but an unusual situation, whatever it might be, where you looked at it, your husband looked at it and was like, what am I going to do with this? Okay, I got to really think about this one.
We've had stuff come in where it's questionable more on, hey, are we going to fix this? That's where the questions come in. We've gotten things in that were damaged so bad where the quality, affects the quality, where we've turned it down, or they've like kept it in a bag too long and it went bad. And we have to tell them, hey, we're just not going to do it. And that's hard. There's things that we've taken into where, we've taken in a super rare bobcat that was almost all white, and it's super rare. And we were honored to do it. It was great. And he really prepared for that one, which I think any animal, my husband goes through tons of pictures and just make sure he's on the same page as his customers on what they want.
That's another aspect I didn't even consider, that it's not like somebody ships it in, tell them it's going to be a little while, you take care of it and send it back. This is a very personal, customized situation. It's very close to the person that sent it to you. Yeah, they could have been, so many different scenarios on a safari with a relative who's no longer here, and it's a special moment, on and on and on and on. That you got to get it right. So I forgot about that, where you're going back and forth with pictures. How about this? How about that? No, I was really thinking more, the paw being up a little higher than that. Okay, what about this? What about that? You can't use AI to do this work, but do you use AI to show people what it may look like so you get them more closer in the zone?
We've never used any AI with it. We've only, the only thing I've ever done was send pictures to our customers, and then we just go through really thoroughly on what exactly they're wanting, because they've even sent me pictures of the animal that they harvested, in the tree. For instance, we had one that he was up on a rock, the dogs were around him before, and he got a beautiful, and the cat looked amazing, and he just looked tough and incredible, not scared, just standing there like he was just like the king of the world, right? And we recreated that look, and we had to break down a lot of the facial features, what we were normally doing. So normally the mouth inserts come a certain size and the face is a certain way. He alters a lot of that, but this one we broke down, and he basically cut the mouthpiece and tore it down where it wasn't near as aggressive, but and it was a very large cat, and he closed the mouth a little bit more, but it was still aggressive at the same time, and it completely changed the look of it, which was amazing, and we nailed it. I mean, it looked exactly like the picture.
I'll bet many times the person sending it to you doesn't even know what they want. It's more of, you got to show, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. The website is Leyba Creations, Leyba creations.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. This was really cool. It's always cool. This was like over the top in terms of seeing the skins and what you can do, what's possible. Bears get gray hairs. The things you learn. Thank you for sharing that. And again, you can work with anybody worldwide. Shipping is available, all of that. Great having you on here. Looking forward next time we get together. Bring some more friends with you.
Awesome. I will do that. I'll try to get my husband on.
Oh, that'd be cool too. All right.
That'd be awesome.
And then we'll stuff him. We'll put him up on the wall too. Thank you so much, Cricket. We'll talk soon, okay?
Great. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.